Hey, basketball coaches and basketball players. Today I'm going to talk to you about why basketball players need to understand the strategies behind basketball. Now, I've had so many players ask me why should I know so many different plays? Why should I know how to beat a zone? Why should I even know how to run a zone if my league is not really running that many zones anyways? And many other questions like that. So, number one, the reason why I believe that every player should know as many plays and as many zone defenses and as many just strategies in general on how to win a game is because obviously they are someday going to come up against that strategy and they will know how to beat it. So, I know that a huge portion of a player's skill development is to become strong, fast, quick, but also be able to dribble the ball the best way possible, be able to shoot the best way possible, just skills in general. And I'm not discounting that. Skills should be about 85 to 90% of a player's development, but at least 10% should go towards strategies. And the reason why I'm saying that is let's say when I was younger, because when I learned what a zone defense was when I was roughly around grade 3, grade 4. This is back when we weren't allowed to even run a zone defense until grade 8. And the reason why I wanted to learn how to run a zone defense is because one of the leagues, a little small house league thing that I ran in when I was a player in grade 4, they were running zone defenses. And I wanted to know, hey, there's that one team who runs a zone defense. How are you able to beat a zone defense? And to beat a zone defense, there's a couple of different ways. Let me get into that really quickly. So the whole main idea behind a zone defense is to force players towards the sideline and out of the key. You don't want anybody in the key. Now, in a zone defense, there's two really popular defenses. There's the 3-2, which means that there's 3 players up top and 2 players in the bottom. There is also the 2-3. And each one of those 2 zones has a very similar but different strategy. So in a 2-3 zone, there's going to be generally double teams in the low block because you do not want any baskets being made in the key. And that specifically works very well with the 2-3 zone. Meanwhile, in the 3-2 zone, it's basically backwards, where you're going to be having double teams along 4 areas of the court along the 3-point line. Now, the reason why you're going to be seeing double teams in those locations is because that's generally where the zone bubbles are going to be overlapping, but that's the idea behind the 3-2 is to stop players from shooting a 3-point shot. So by knowing those strategies right there, you can exploit the zone defenses. So to exploit a zone defense, you can attack the gaps. And by attacking the gaps, you'll be drawing a double team, which means that if you've got another player in a passing lane from you, that means that you're going to be able to draw a double team, pass the ball, draw that player out, which now if a player from the weak side comes down and cuts down, that's going to be able to give you a nice easy layup. And especially when you start swinging the ball from one side to the other, that's going to be allowing you to now move that zone defense and open up even bigger gaps so that now you can get deeper into the zone. And one of the most easiest ways to beat a zone defense is by attacking the gaps. Another one is to attack the key, get the ball into the key, and then pass the ball out for a 3-point shot. This is what we see the Raptors do an absolute ton in their games. Now, another way that you can beat a zone defense as well is to get the ball into the high post, which draws up the baseline defenders, and you can pass the ball down to somebody who's cutting baseline. Those are the 3 easiest ways to beat a zone. Now, by understanding that and dribbling the ball down the court as a point guard, and now you're seeing, oh, hey, they're setting up in a 2-3 zone. We could run a quick 5 out that we normally run, and I can attack the gap, pass the ball, and then go set a screen away or maybe just cut through and fill, and now we can swing the ball around, and I can communicate that to my team by saying, hey, I'm driving myself, I'm kicking the ball out, I'm popping out, and then you can scream out, swing, swing, swing. Even though you're not the coach, and even though you're not maybe the player with the ball, you can still, as a point guard or at any position, say, hey, they're running a 2-3 zone, guys. They're running a 3-2 zone. Let's get this ball swinging, moving quickly so we can move that zone defense and make them open up gaps so we can attack those gaps. So simple strategies like that can allow you to help you win the game on the court. Having those strategies in your head, simple, easy strategies to beat a defense, will allow you to become an even better basketball player. And if you're a center, you don't have to be a point guard to see this. If you're a center, you can say, hey, they're running a zone defense. I need to get that ball to the high post. And you can cut up and show to the high post, say, hey, ball. They'll pass you the ball. And then you turn, you say, hey, cut. And you can dish it off to a player who's cutting baseline because you just drew up the baseline defender. Or if your teammates are smart enough, they'll just see that there's no player guarding the net and you can just pass down to them. But either way, knowing these strategies as a player can allow you to win the game without even running a play. Just running a simple strategy like get the ball to the high post, have somebody cut baseline, dish it down to them. Simple, easy plays. And now on the offensive side, and you're on defense, some of the things that you can say is, hey, they're running a man-to-man defense. They continuously run a man-to-man defense because they know that we're running man-to-man. That way you can go to your players or your coach and say, hey, they're only running a man offense. They know what we're running. So maybe we can switch maybe 1 or 2 possessions into a 2-3 zone. And now they'll come down, they'll run their man-to-man offense, which is not going to work. And then you can steal the ball, and then once they see that you're running a zone, you can say, hey, it's been 2 or 3 possessions. Guys, run man. Call out a number. And you can call out your number, and now, again, they're running a zone offense against a man-to-man, and now you've kind of just made them lose a couple of more possessions. So as a player, you can be really smart, and understanding these strategies can help you win the game. So, understanding strategies like screen and rolls as well. Hey, if I use a screen, and I'm dribbling through past a screen, and if I start driving towards that player who's screening me, his defender, that defender is going to pop out on me. And if my player is going to roll, that means that he's going to be wide open if I do a bounce pass down to him because his defender is now popping up on me. They've essentially switched, even though they never called it. And now I've got a double team on me coming. I've got a player who's wide open rolling towards the basket and I can pass him the ball. Or if you're on the fast break and you're dribbling the ball up court, and you say, oh, there's a man defending me, there's another man coming down on the opposite side, and there's another player on my own team who's following me. Well, now I can cut across the court, draw the double team, dish the ball off to the trailing player, because I just drew a double team because I dribbled across the middle of the court, because I dribbled across the key, and now my player is cutting down behind me. I can dish him the ball and he'll have a wide open lane towards the basket. Strategies like these don't even need a play. You don't need plays in basketball. You can just run simple strategies like attacking gaps against the zone, getting that ball to the high post and wait for a baseline cutter, get that ball into the paint and kick it out and swing. Things like that, simple offense can win you games without even knowing a single play. So knowing these strategies, these simple basic strategies can help you win the game. I hope that you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I hope that when the basketball season comes back around for you, you can use these strategies to help you win the game. I'll see you guys in our next video. I'm going live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.